ZJ, you just came out with a video that said, teaching gay marriage in schools, and it should be done. And while, as an adult, as a rational human being, as a caring, as a loving human being, as an understanding human being, I agree with you. This was not always the case. When I was 7 to 8 years old, first, second grade, there was a transsexual that lived across the street from me in my hometown of Albuquerque. And his nephew, her nephew, it was a male to female transition, and he still had male bits, was one of my friends, and we would walk to school together. And I remember going over to their house one particular day, and this transsexual, to escape personal pronouns, this transsexual was in a bathrobe, smoking a cigarette and singing a Rod Stewart song that was also playing on the radio at the same time. And I remember he had eyeshadow on, and some eye makeup, some lip makeup, but hair was disheveled, obviously just woke up, was getting ready for the day, whatever. And as a 7, 8-year-old kid, I was physically, mentally repulsed by this person. I thought to myself, how disgusting, how could you do that to yourself? Of course, a kid doesn't understand that brain chemistry is different and blah, 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 blah. We know what's different. As adults, we know what's different. But as children, you don't. And so I think you need to pick your battles very carefully when it comes to teaching about homosexuality and transgenderness to children. There are certain ages where we can grasp concepts, and there are certain ages where we can't. A few years later, the very first company that I owned was when I was 15, and it was a yard maintenance company. Had my own equipment, had my own business license and everything, and I mowed the lawn of a gay couple that happened to live behind us in another house. Was I scared of them? Was I put off by them? Sure, yeah, you bet. A lot of that was ignorance at that point. A lot of that was me not knowing about gay people. Me being uneducated about gay people. So I was deathly afraid that they were going to abduct me and sodomize me and make me into their little boy toy, because I was actually quite skinny at that time, and so I could have easily been overtaken. But, was I scared of that? Sure. But that was lack of education. See, by the age of 15, I was ready to learn something about homosexuality, about gay people, about transgenderness, things like that. So, I think what the real crux of the matter is is that you have to pick your battles and choose the right time to pick that battle. Because just making a blanket statement of teaching gay weddings, about gay marriage in schools is acceptable, to me is not. Because a 6-year-old and a 16-year-old will have quite a different take on the information that's being given. You have to become socially aware. You have to develop your mental state to be prepared for something like that. It's not something that you just casually go, oh, well, that gal has 2 daddies, or that guy has 2 mommies. Yeah, a kid can understand that in a very superficial way, but it doesn't sink in until much later. And so I think there is age-appropriate education. You don't teach a 6-year-old algebra, you know, and same thing here as far as this being a social studies. You don't just throw it on them at any age. You've got to make sure that the kid can absorb it and understand it.